Hey everybody, Mike Tabbert here from the Level Up Golf Academy, where we help golfers level up for pure power precise performance. Today's video is all about getting centerness of contact. We need to hit the golf ball in the sweet spot, guaranteed to give yourself the best performance. This is going to give us maximum distance as well as control both for distance and direction anytime that you hit the sweet spot. To hit the sweet spot, we need to maintain a better radius for your golf swing. The club travels on a circular motion going around our body. So if a golf club swings on a circle, half of a circle's width is called a radius. So the distance from our body to the ball is going to represent the radius. So my arm length as well as my posture position relative to the golf ball is going to represent our radius. It is important that we can maintain a very consistent radius so we continue to always hit the golf ball in the sweet spot. If we struggle on the toe or the heel or the bottom or the top, it's because generally we are messing with the radius. Either our body is moving around too much, maybe that's side to side movement, up and down movement, or in and out movement, or my arm is changing the radius, and that might be my arms are reaching, disconnecting away from me, or my arms are pulling in and collapsing towards me, bending the elbows. Okay, either way, we are sacrificing on the radius consistency. So when we are struggling with contact, we need to know which issue we are battling, and we can do this with some form of feedback, whether that be a simulator where we have some feedback where the club face is contacting on the golf ball, or we can use like a sticker at home or some spray that we can spray on the club face, and that powder would then leave a removal of basically contact when the golf ball hits it. Any form of feedback is good. We just need to know where your trends are when you're mishitting your shots. So I'm going to start hitting just 3 shots. We'll see what my trend is. Okay, let's hit 3 shots, hopefully some good ones, and I can see it in the sweet spot. Trying to hit it right up the middle of the screen. Getting myself my normal setup. Ball position would be in the middle. Good athletic swing. Very, very close there. As you can see, the numbers indicate I was only 1 millimeter off of the sweet spot from the height and 6 millimeters off the perfect sweet spot from the heel. So I think overall that would be a pretty good one. I think that would be a pretty acceptable shot. So let's see if we can repeat it. That one sounded a little bit chunky. Pretty close to the sweet spot, but you can see that went up a little bit, okay? And that's because I went underneath it a little bit more. So that was about 5 millimeters different, okay? But overall, we're still hitting pretty good. Not too bad. Okay, so that one wasn't as good. Okay, that one was low and in the heel. Okay, so let's just say I hit a multitude of shots, maybe 3, 5, 10 shots, and I find kind of a consistent miss. Let's just say that was my consistent miss and I'm hitting it in the heel. If I'm hitting it in the heel, that would mean that my radius is getting too long. My radius is getting longer because I'm either getting closer to the golf ball and my radius now would be getting too close to it, right? Or I'm getting my body obviously to dip down too far, or my arms are extending out too far, right? So we are getting too close to the golf ball, right? So our radius is extending too much, okay? When we are struggling with the toe, it'd be the opposite. My body is too far away, either through standing too upright or falling away, or my arms are shortening, which would mean that obviously the radius is now getting too short and I cannot reach the golf ball. Those would be generally more toe and bottom hits, and heel shots are very similar to chunky shots, where you're generally hitting in the heel or hitting down too much, and that's when your radius again is getting too long. So basis of kind of where I'm hitting it tells me I need to get a little bit further from the golf ball in some way. Maybe taller, maybe farther away, or maybe I got to really focus on my arms staying more connected, okay? So the couple things that again we're looking at is your posture consistency as well as your radius consistency with your arm connection. So how do I get into a proper posture? My proper posture, I'm going to use one drill here using an alignment stick on the ground, which would represent the target line This is going to go directly straight towards the center of the screen here, representing again the target line. I'm going to use another alignment stick, and I'm going to use it in two ways. One to give me a proper hip hinge, and one to give me a nice flat back position. So I'm going to place this against my hips, placing the ball in my normal ball position, and then I push this back to push my butt back, and then I'm going to rock myself to a nice balanced position. Still able to lift my toes, and I'm able to lift my heels. But pushing my hips back allows me to bend forward and to get into a proper posture. Then I want to keep this nice flat back position as I would grab a club. So my upper back and my tailbone are touching against this alignment stick. Okay, so when I'm holding the alignment stick, I do not want to round away, because as I would be very rounded like this, I would then restrict my body's movement and then cause me to either stand up, or I would then have to lift my arms to create a big backswing. So generally, those are the compensations people create when they get into what we call C posture. C posture is when you're hunching in the upper back. So when I get into a proper flat back position, I want to use my arms and form the letter W. We take the alignment stick and we place it behind our neck or shoulders, and we create a letter W across our elbows, and the club would, or in this case the stick, resting behind me helps me retract my shoulders, getting my chest to be more forward and my back to pinch together. When I am getting in this type of position, I can then rotate much more freely and with a lot higher success. As I would bend forward into proper spacing here, I should see that my shoulders can rotate down and point towards the golf ball. Okay? If it's pointing way up off into the distance, we have stood up. We have actually created a radius change. We want to maintain posture by keeping our head nice and steady, and our knees, our hips, our shoulders are all rotating underneath my chin. And that would again be important because I would then not need to change my posture to create that range of motion. And that flat back, it was the key. Make sure that you are getting a good rotation and a nice flat back position to be able to maintain posture. We need range of motion. We cannot be rigid and stiff. So once I now have that, I need to connect my arms. My arm connection to my body is very, very important. One, for obviously maintaining the distance so our arms don't just flail away. But secondly, it's also for support and also speed and power. Think of it as carrying like a heavy bag of groceries. If I'm carrying a heavy bag of groceries, I would not want my arms reaching out away from me carrying that heavy bag. It would be very stressful on my shoulders and my back, and frankly, I'd be a lot weaker in that position. If I get my arms close to my body, but maybe my elbows are splayed off to the side, this would also be a weakened position because my elbows are not supported against me, and this would still create a lot of stress on the shoulders. As I'm carrying a heavy load like this is still going to create problems, and this is a disconnection of my elbows off my body. When I'm carrying groceries, I want my arms to come together underneath the bag and rest it on my front of my ribs. This is going to create some leverage, and I'm still keeping the bag close to my body and my center of gravity, and this allows me to carry this with some ease, right? So I'm holding the bag from underneath, and I'd be able to carry it no problem. When I'm carrying the club such as this, I need to obviously place my hands on the club with only a forearm rotation. So we call this supination and pronation, right? So we're going to pronate our hands to then be able to combine them together around the club. This is how we would keep the club in front of us and rotating the club face. So we get our arms together, keeping my back still nice and flat. So let's show you this way. So I'm going to get my arms in front of me and retracting my shoulder blades still to keep it nice and flat. Once I'm here, I'm going to pronate my hands together around the club, still able to take my grip. Now, as I would want to rotate the club, I'm just simply rotating my forearms. Notice my triceps and my upper arms are still staying close to my body, right? I'm never going to be going away, getting the flying elbow, or in the follow through, chicken winging. This would be taking the club away from us, or again, we could do this even by pulling the handle way in on either side. So it's important that we keep our arms in front of us, and we keep our arms obviously connected, so they just rotate through our forearms only. Now as I would make that swing, I need to maintain that connection as I swing. Now you could do this a few different ways by maybe pulling your sleeves under both arms and keeping it nice and pinched in there. You could use a towel similarly, or what I like to use again is the alignment stick that we just used, and just pinch that with some nice rigid force against our body, and I can feel that nice and connected under my arms against my chest. So again, carrying the groceries, rotating the forearms onto the grip, keeping my back nice and flat. Ball position is nice and steady or consistent in my middle. I hip hinge, and then I want to just simply rotate back and through, keeping the club in front of me. My triangle with my arms is very, very stable and connected. Never feeling like the stick is going to fall away, okay? This is when we start to pick the club up and we force ourselves to reroute the club a lot, and again, the radius would always be changing. So it's important that we maintain that connection using the alignment stick under our arms, or we use a towel or even just your shirt sleeves, tucking it into the armpits. So when I'm making my swing and I'm more connected, again, I'm going to be stronger because I have my center of gravity and my arms closer together, but I'm not so close to where I'm actually in that compromised position. It's just resting in front of us, okay? So when I get into a good setup, remember, good hip hinge, retracting the shoulder blades as I bring my arms in front of me. The creases of my elbows are more up, and I just rotate my forearms together. Once I'm here, I should be seeing just my arms relaxing straight down, and I should feel like, again, my upper arms are resting against my chest or my lat muscles. Okay, once I'm in this position, we're going to hit a golf shot. See if I hit that one in the sweet spot. Perfect. That was hit really, really well. I was literally 1 millimeter from the perfect sweet spot. Okay, let's try that again. Let's see if we can repeat. Okay, one more time. Good consistent ball position, good hip hinge, retracting the shoulder blades, arms are in front and the creases are up, and we rotate the forearms together. Okay, we rotate them around for our proper grip. Once I'm in my good spacing, look at my target, make another good swing. Keep it connected. Not too bad. Again, didn't pick up the hit location on that one, but look at how perfect that straight shot was. Okay, so very good shots, very good consistent contact, because I was able to get into a good posture with a flat back and a good hip hinge. I maintained it with good rotation, not allowing my body to be restricted due to a C posture. I rotated my knees, my hips, my shoulders, and my head and upper body was very stable, rotating around my spine. And then I maintained connection. I maintained the connection with my arms resting against my body, allowing me to keep the radius very, very consistent. If I was to, again, disconnect in the takeaway, I would then somehow have to reconnect. If I disconnect in the downswing, I will then try to reconnect right before impact. All the while, this is creating inconsistencies. So good posture and maintaining connection through the entire swing is the best way for us to maintain centerness of contact. So I hope this video will help you. I hope these things, again, give you some instant feedback and ways for you to improving your contact. It frankly is guaranteed to do that because, again, it's just science. It's the golf swing science of a perfect circle, and we need to maintain a consistent radius. So maintain your posture, maintain your connection throughout the swing, and you're guaranteed to hit the sweet spot with any club in your bag. So again, I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe our page, and stay tuned for future videos for more great content to help you with your game.